Hey guys, with Firewall Dragon gone, we have to rely on more or less loopy combos, I guess. They've addressed the big issue in the format, that being Firewall Dragon. They've also hit Malicious, which was essentially at 2, it's just a regular warrior extender, but at 3 it became an automatic +2, which allowed you to go, like if you made Isolde, you then could make Summon Sorceress, and so they hit that, which is fine and understandable. But what that did was it took the number 86 combo and it turned that into a 2-card combo, and those 2 cards are one of the kind of foolish burial monsters and one extender, and the extender could be anything that produces a level 3 warrior type monster. Instant fusion or junk forward. You could also do a marauding captain if you wanted to add more in here. There are plenty of them out there. Now I'm going to go through each one of these. They all kind of result in the same thing. If you have Dark Griffer plus one of these, you also have to have a dark monster to discard. But if you have one of any of these, and this is, I'm just going to show you the one with Vion now, then it results in the same board. And there's a whole deck based around it. And I've been holding off on a deck profile because the ban list was going to make whatever deck that I put out pretty much irrelevant. So anyway, without further ado, here's our combo. You're going to summon Vion, which is going to do what it has been doing for the past format, which is going to send Malicious, which will special summon Malicious. Go ahead and use those guys. This is going to look very familiar, even though the ban list has just come out. I'm going to use Isolde to summon the Armageddon Knight. Now here, if you were to use Armageddon Knight, you would now have to special summon a Dark Griffer because we only have one. But you are looking at the hand like, well, you don't have a Dark. Well, keep in mind that you can use Isolde to add, if you had to special summon Dark Griffer, you could use Isolde to add the Vion to the hand, so that when you special summon the Dark Griffer, you can discard it to then go off. So anyway, that's not what we're doing. We're doing a Vion combo, so we're going to use Isolde's effect now to special summon the Armageddon Knight by putting the equips into the graveyard. Armageddon Knight is going to send the Destrudo to the graveyard, and we're going to go ahead and use these guys to go into the Summon Sorceress. Now, it was super important that it be a level 3 warrior extender, because we're going to use the extender if it was one of the other two, either junk forward or marauding captain, you do that first, but I'm using instant fusion to bring out Dragoness, the Wicked Knight. We're going to use Summon Sorceress. I'll go ahead and target that to special summon Cloak. We're going to overlay these guys into Levier, the Sea Dragon, and in the graveyard we're going to banish Armageddon Knight plus another warrior to add the sword to hand. We're not going to use that, but this is just going to remain in our hand. We're going to go ahead and detach the cloak. We're going to summon Armageddon Knight, whose effect is going to send Boots to the graveyard. Now we're going to use Boots to add the Brigandine to hand. We're going to use Cloak to add another Boots to hand. We can go ahead and activate Brigandine, special summon itself. We can then use the Boots to special summon itself because we control the Phantom Knights. And then from the graveyard we can use Destrudo, targeting Armageddon Knight. So this is level 3. So now we have 2 level 3 and 2 level 4 warriors. So theoretically, if we were to have, let's say, link these into a land for Linkus, you would have the combo right now, just off of those 2 cards. I'm going to take it a little bit further. It gets a little bit more complicated from here on out, but just bear with me. This is to guarantee that you have a follow-up OTK on the next turn. So we're going to go ahead and use Levier and Summon Sorceress. Let's go into Underclock Taker, which I know looks funny, but we're going to use Underclock Taker and Boots to go ahead and go into Bardish. And we're going into Bardish because we're going to use his effect to send Cloak to the graveyard to set a Fog Blade to our side of the field. So Fog Blade is now set. Now we're going to go ahead and overlay these guys into number 86, and we were holding off on that because when we overlay into a dark monster while it's pointing to Bardish, he pops a card on the field. Well, let's pop our own Fog Blade. So we're going to pop our Fog Blade, And then we're going to use that Fog Blade to special summon, and it doesn't matter from here what you special summon, but I'm going to go ahead and special summon Cloak. Now you can use these guys to go into Gossip Shadow. No longer a proxy. I ordered it directly after making that video. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and overlay all these guys. So now we're essentially skipping the opponent's turn. What I wanted to do with this combo is I wanted to think of a way that during the next turn, you know, there's no point in skipping the opponent's turn if you can't follow up and then win during the next turn, at least in Yu-Gi-Oh! At least. So, and I understand it isn't quite skipping the turn, but during your opponent's end phase, you have to detach a monster. So during the end phase, we're going to go ahead and detach Cloak. During your turn, you're going to draw, and you probably do have the resources to kill them, but I'm not going to draw for the sake of this combo. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the effect of Bardish to send Gloves to the graveyard while setting Sword. And I know a lot of people kind of cringe when I pull out a Sword instead of a Fog Blade, but there's a reason that we're using Sword instead of Fog Blade. And in reality, we're using both because it really doesn't matter. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set the Sword. Now Gloves is going to banish itself, and it's actually going to send the Fog Blade to the graveyard. Fog Blade is going to banish itself to special summon the Boots. And you're going to banish Cloak to add another Boots from deck to hand. Boots is going to special summon himself. Now, we're going to overlay these guys into Break Sword. Now this is going to trigger Bardish's effect again, and we're going to pop that sword. Now, we've already used the Fog Blade this turn, so that's why we need another one. And you'll see exactly why, because the math here doesn't quite add up to 8,000. And really, you don't need that powerful of a monster to OTK from here. I think it's like either 900 or 1900 or something like that. You don't really need a whole lot more power from here, but from here, your opponent, they can still set cards, and usually they'll set a monster to protect themselves, and you want to get rid of that. Or they set spell or traps or whatever. So usually they do have a card in the field. So if they have a card in the field, you're going to use Break Sword, target itself and the monster that's defending them, or their face down spell or trap. So it's going to kill itself and that. That's going to trigger Break Sword's effect to then special summon 2 PKs from the graveyard. These are now level 4, so you're going to go ahead, overlay them into Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. And remember that we sent that sword to the graveyard instead of the Fog Blade, because now we're going to banish it to special summon the Break Sword. So 2,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,500 plus 2,100 is much more than 8,000. And all of this was off 2 cards and skipping a draw phase. Deck profile later to come. I was holding off on doing deck profiles because they suddenly become irrelevant once the ban list comes out. In fact, I had a Chaos Hand Trap deck ready to do a deck profile on. It's pretty much jank, but now I've refrained on releasing it for that reason. I want to keep it to actually good content. So if you guys have any questions about this this deck or the combos or anything like that, there is going to be a profile in the future, in the upcoming future. I was just holding off. But if you have any questions or ways to extend the combo, please let me know. I know a Reddit user on my previous video really helped out in extending that combo. So if we could do the same with this, make it even better and possibly even more efficient, could it? Could it possibly be a single card combo? Could you really do this all off of either a single Armageddon Knight or Vion? Stay tuned to find out, I guess. But yeah, any comments, critiques are welcome. So see you guys next time.